All right, guys, I'm back. I've got a very interesting, mysterious care package from Colombia, the country. As we can see, the flag here. This is pretty exciting. So this comes to me by way of a friend who I've shown other lots that he has sent. I guess over the past a couple years at this point, when he's traveling, he'll pick up some interesting candy that catches his attention. I am really curious about this one. This is definitely one of the wild cards. Colombia. I'm not sure what novelty culture they have in Colombia. I know they're famous for coffee and and cocaine. This is crazy. Thank you to the gentleman here. I hope it's okay. I'll say your first name, Travis, who I've known for, I guess, 15 years at this point. But this is thanks for doing all this. Let's see what he found in Colombia. Now, if you're kind of new to my stuff, I collect old candy items. You saw me open this week. You saw me get the Punkies ball this week. And some other shit, right? So anyway, that's what I like to do. And I collect all the new stuff too. So let's see what's inside. First thing is a shopping bag in Spanish, I believe. Pretty cool. Look at that. I cannot read a thing, but I'll go on Google Translate and get all this translated. I don't know if you know this, but there's a bunch of apps that you can just hold your phone up to something like this, and it'll actually translate it on your camera in like real time. So it's really cool. All right. Wow. Oh my goodness. No way you found all this. Guys, this is unbelievable. What a treasure trove from Colombia, the country. Sorry, I have to keep reminding myself that it's a country. Okay, first thing, I've got to look at these ring pops. As you can see, they have this emblem here. I've run across this before when I've traveled to Mexico. A very similar stop sign emblem. These used to be stickers, but I think I was telling you guys on my last trip, I found some that are actually printed on, and these are also printed on. So what you're looking at is a Colombian ring pop translated, in their language. Now, the packaging has a metallic look to it, which is kind of unique, actually. I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but it has a metallic kind of sparkly finish, like a glittery finish. This one's really pretty. That green and pink combo is to die for. I always love that combo. And when you add the metallics in there, it's just going to sing, and you can see it clearly right here. Wow. I was noticing there's a YouTuber that I follow. I've been following him for like 2 years now. His name is Moses the Jeweler. He's in the Diamond District in New York City. But anyway, he just made a gold or platinum. I don't know I assume it's gold ring pop. And he basically sculpted one of these out of gold, and he iced it out with diamonds. It's really cool. But it's something he did, I believe, this week, and you can go check it out. Look up Moses the Jeweler. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Okay, these match as well. Thank you for picking up the sets. I'm noticing. Thank you, sir, for doing that. These are great. This is probably going to be that lollipop that you dip in some sugar or whatever. I've never seen these before. Choopy Gooly. I don't know how to pronounce this. Very, very cool. Look at the mascot. Appears to be an apple mascot. This says green mango. I can read that one. Blackberry. That's a unique flavor profile for one of these types of candies, actually. I don't think I've ever seen a blackberry flavored pop with sugar, you know, this genre of candy. That's actually pretty damn unique. Wow, thank you. Let's keep digging. These I'm dying to look at. Give me 1 second. I'm peering in the box. You can't see in there, but I can't. Or maybe you can. I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, these all match. I'm dying to see what these are. Wow, look at that. An eyeball. You know, you see some eyeball stuff around Halloween candy, you know, time every year. These are quite beautiful, I must say. They kind of see-through. I'm loving the violet color here, the plum color of the package. The wording is way too small for me to read it for you. Unfortunately, it's super, super small. It looks like he picked up all these different variants. Here's I guess a evil eye there. One got stuck to it. Yeah, it's kind of leaking out. Welcome to my world, you know. Yeah, so the thing is, this Bubbaloo, I think this is going to be a Bubbaloo. That's not leaking. This is leaking, so that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. But this one, I noticed, instead of saying I, it says monsters. That's cool. I'm assuming this is another monster. Looks a little bit like Minions. Here's one from the I category. And here's another monster. Wow, thank you for picking that up. Yeah, just can't, the text is so small. I'll definitely, you know, be studying these over the next week or so, but I can't read it right now. All right, since this got kind of stuck, actually, you know what? I want to save this. Let's go ahead and get, let's see what these are. Okay, Oka Locas Nanos. I'm just murdering the language there. I have run across these in when I traveled down in the Caribbean, but this is definitely a new size. It's a little larger than what I remember, and certainly a completely different package design that I have not run across. So they've completely done the packaging, and plus there's two variants. Whereas before, I think I only found one of these, and it was a smaller type. So these are new to me, so thank you so much for picking these up. They appear to be sort of like Willy Wonka nerds. There has been tons of copycats and all this, but you got to understand that I'm not so sure they get Wonka stuff in that area. I found some Wonka stuff in Mexico. So anyway, this is their version of, I would imagine, nerds. I love these little guys, these little mascot guys kind of playing around with each other. Awesome. You guys, you know I'm dying to pick up these push pops. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna save those for the end. That's the finale. We're gonna look at those damn push pops. Next up, these appear to match. True Lulu, something like that. I love the shark mascot. You would think you'd see more shark mascots in Novelty candy. You actually don't. There's not as much as I would think a person would assume, being as so many, you know, small children, especially boys, you know, love sharks. And so to find a shark on a package is actually pretty special, believe it or not. And to see one with this beautiful watery, you know, a thematic with the water and stuff, it's really nice. Next one is almost better. We got an evil bat. I imagine this is the hot variant. These mascots are to die for. And then the alligator theme. You know, I must be honest, I actually really want to try one of these. I'm not sure I can bring myself to opening this package, but I would love to try this. It's so inviting. You know, and something like this, you know, the candy itself isn't special. It's not like this is a lily pad where a gator might be around. And it's not like this bat is around like maybe some glowing embers or something. And it's not like these candies are in the shape of shark's teeth. So my point is, I could open this and it wouldn't really affect anything because the candy itself isn't novelty. It's all about the package, if that makes sense. And so that makes it even more tempting to open. I've got to grab this. Man, I want to dump all this out right now, honestly. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at this. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, you really got an eye for this as well. This is awesome. Bubbaloo is a brand you see down. Honestly, I don't know how widespread this brand is. I just know I've seen it a lot in Latin America and stuff like this. So, but I have not seen this design. I love the cool cat. Look at that. That is pretty damn unique. Again, these little stop signs, decals are printed on now. This is part of the actual package, which I'm very happy about. You might have saw a couple months ago, I opened a Willy Wonka Nerds that had a printed one of those on it. Okay, next up looks to be like a Pop Rocks, a very mini Pop Rocks, very small, little, almost like a half size. So it's pretty unique in that way. It's kind of this weird little small size. The mascot appears to be some crazy guy. Wigging out. Maybe he's on acid or something. So sweet. Look at that. That is so sweet. Okay, I've got to grab this. I know it's not a push pop, so I feel safe. Wow. Okay, so here we have a novelty candy container of a bottle, a classic form that dates back to the 60s as far as plastic goes. I have tons of these that go back to that time period, and they're still making them, as you can see. I have never seen this one, and I'm not even sure what fruit this is. That makes this, to me, extra special, because this could be a regional fruit that you just don't find in America. I'm sure we have these in, supermarkets, specialty ones or whatever, but this is kind of a regional thing, I would imagine, because of the fruit being very foreign. So that makes this particularly special. Plus, it looks like a leopard. Just if you're kind of glancing at it, it has sort of that pattern, that eye-catching pattern. There's a lot of little small. Actually, there's some more bottles. Let's go ahead and look at those. Push pops are killing me. All right. Yeah, so there's more bottles in there. So it looks like we have more of the set here. Let's see. This is strawberry, I would imagine. Though I'm not positive on that. Here's another one from the line. That's not a mango, though, is it? I'm not sure what fruit that is exactly. And then the purple one. Always nice to see purple. Is obviously grape. That's a nice little sweet little set there. Great size too, not too large for those. A lot of these bottle candies can get pretty large and they start getting kind of dorky and annoying to store and enjoy. But this is a great size for novelty candy. You know what? I think I will go ahead and look at the push pops because there's a lot of variation in those little small things. I think it would just make a little more sense. But yeah, I cannot wait to look at these. Got another little sticky little package there. All right, so I'm a push pop connoisseur. This is incredible. I have not seen this before. It's obviously Minions theme. It says it right there. The cap. Now this is the cello wrapper. This is factory sealed on top of the plastic container, and so the paint app is actually on the wrapper, is what I'm saying. It's not actually on the yellow cap. Whereas back in the 80s and 90s, as you know, this would probably be on the actual plastic. It's just something you see on modern candy containers. Very cool. You know, I'm not a big Minions guy, but that's only because I've never seen one of the movies. You know, I'm just, you know, my one child was too old when these movies came out to, you know, I would never take her to that. But anyway, but I understand a lot of people enjoy those movies. Can't help but notice there's another Minions one. This one's blue. Let's compare. Yeah, these are just 2 new push pops I've never seen that are from Colombia. I will never go to Colombia, not because I don't want to. I just know that I'll probably, you know, I'm 99% sure I'll never ever go to Colombia. So to have someone send me this much from this country is, you know, it's what an opportunity, you know. One thing I'm noticing, it does say tattoo on here. Now that's pretty damn unique. If this is implying there's a tattoo inside, I've never seen that as a part of push pops before. Guys, I'm gonna totally geek out because the top of this is in a different sculpt than I've ever seen. Oh my God. I've never seen this sculpt for push pop. This is a different cap. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a different cap because it's too short. I've never seen a clip that short either. This is going to something I'm going to have to dig into. Okay, so these are, let's see. Okay, so this is a special one, Push Pop Duo. I might have ran across this one in Mexico about 4 years ago. I could be wrong. Nonetheless, it's going to be different. There's no way it's going to be the same one I had. Oh, and plus this has a pearl. Yeah, I've got to be careful. See, guys, I geek out over push pops. I'll go into some weird mode. I study these things. I've been for years and years and years. I've never seen a pearl lid on. Oh, this is so. I know I didn't. I never seen that before. So even if I had this one, I've never seen this variant lid. So that's incredible. These are regular issues. Yeah, I've never seen these either. Guys, if you're just joining me, I got a care package here, meaning someone sent this to me for free. Let me get that. Let me just be clear here. The generosity factor is through the fucking moon. The thought of someone not only buying these, paying for them, but actually carrying these in their luggage and maybe through the airport, you know, it's just heartwarming. Guys, I must say one more thing about this. This is in neon pink. Yeah, that's fucking sexy. I just gotta be honest. All right, so these, the last things, I just want to kind of dump these out. Actually, yeah, let me do this. I want to move some stuff back. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week with the Punkies ball coming in yesterday. It's been really exciting in this. Oh, and I need to tell you guys about this that I didn't notice. So let me put this out so I don't forget to tell you about something about that. All right, so we have all the little small things out. These I can't help but notice all match. So let me just go ahead and try to organize this a little bit. I know there's probably all collectors in here. You know the joys of sorting, right? That's one of the things. And I think if we're really honest that about what we're doing, and it's the fact that sorting it brings us a lot of peace. You know, because we live in a world of absolute chaos and mass commercialism, and the power of us to sort out the good shit and to sort it and archive it is part of the true joy of collecting. Okay, so these all match. I believe it says Revolution or something. Probably not, actually. I want to change that already. But anyway, it has a really cool mascot. I imagine this is like a warhead. and he bought all the different types, all the different flavors. Here's caramel, tropical, and some other flavors I can't pronounce. Here's chicle, though, like bubblegum. These stand out. I love peach rings. You know, I remember when those came out back in the day, my mom and I would just eat them by the bagfuls driving down the road. And obviously it's a tried and true successful candy genre, and here you are finding them in Colombia. This one's particularly beautiful. It is sort of that peach ring, but it has sort of an ombre color change to yellow. I don't know if you see that. So the candy inside is actually pretty beautiful itself, that I'm noticing, and that's probably why they're highlighting it through a clear package, because they put a little extra work into those candies. Yeah, really pretty. This one I noticed is turned backwards. Nice. Thank you for picking those up. This obviously stands out, as Dracula on it. So that's pretty cool. I believe it says chocolate on there. So this could be... It's hard candy though, so maybe it's chocolate flavored. That's really cool. So let's look at these Bubaloos. This is the little sticky guy. Again, this is not leaking. It was only this one out of the whole lot. This guy leaked out. So I'll get all that sorted. That's a big part of my life, actually, is restoring candy. That too is one of the pieces of collecting this stuff, is the care of it, you know, the preservation of it, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's look at these little guys. See, I don't want to turn this over because it's sticky. I'm going to have to hold it up. So here is Bubaloo. A lot of bubblegum people know exactly what this is. We run across this all the time, but this is one I've never seen. Beautiful package design there. Here's another Bubaloo. There's that cool cat mascot at the top. Yep. A lot of super tiny writing that I'm just not going to be able to read right now. And then these little guys match Bums Bezo. I said that wrong. Yeah. I'm dying to try this. I'm not going to open these, but I would love to try one of these. And really, had he sent 2 of each of these, I still probably honestly wouldn't have opened one. I'm just so deep in the collecting mindset that I can't even like enjoy it on that level. So that's the torture we put ourselves through. And then lastly, these is a fitting finale. Actually, the mascot is one of the best we've seen yet. It's an absolute monster, I guess. Maybe either vomiting or that's his tongue, maybe. But very cool. Super hypo something or other. Just what these little kids need, right? They live in a country that is known for their cartel, right? You know, drugs. But even all the other stimulants like coffee. And they give this to their children. Candy that's going to hype them up, get them prepped for their lifelong speed habit. Just kidding. Very cool. Damn. This is... I think he was telling me, you know, he's a little worried that this might not be the, you know, maybe a very good, you know, selection, you know, visiting Colombia of all places. But no, this Colombia seems to be a little hotbed for candy, man. This is incredible. So a little recap before I am going to tell you a couple more things. If you'll just hang out a few more minutes. But I do want to recap this real quick. So just in is a Colombian candy care package, including 3 Colombian ring pops in beautiful metallic packaging. a 3 package of these lollipops dippers. The genre for these, there's not like a concise name for it, but I prefer dippers because they always come with a lollipop that you lick, and then there's some powder at the bottom that you dip it in, if that makes sense. But these would be in that, what I call personally, dipper category. Very cool. It has an apple mascot. I do wish they had changed the mascots or maybe changed the colors throughout the different flavors, but it's pretty cool. Look at that. Then we looked at these eyeballs. There was 3 eyeball jelly candies. Really quite amazing, really. And then it came with 3 monsters. And it says it up here. Sorry. Monsters Eye. This one, unfortunately, is leaking. I'll get that sorted out. And after I do, you'll never know there was ever a problem. Because the candy hasn't stained anything, it's just leaking. So it's a fresh leak. So it's nothing that me or probably these people that are watching, that's nothing to us, right? These push pops are just to die for. Yeah. Just amazing. Yeah, I'll geek out in private over those later. We got these 4 bottles in that all match. Now I'm noticing this brand up here. I think I can read it for you. It says Mas Dulces. Actually, I don't know. But anyway, 4 novelty candy bottles, plastic. These were one of the best finds, in my opinion. Don't know what this candy is, but it feels congealed or together, surprisingly. You know what? I will say something. Guys, you know what? That's a tail. There's a tail right here. And I can feel it. Yeah, and there's this head. You'd have to trust me on this. There's an alligator in here. There's a fucking alligator in here. That is so cool. Man. So how would you stretch out a bat? I guess the wings? Yeah, I can feel the wings. That's really neat. And the shark, yeah. Anyway. You'll have to trust me. Yeah, there's an outline of a form of a shark in there. Man. And then we had all the small ones. A lot of bangers like these little bubble gums, Bubbaloo. I especially love just the aesthetic of these. God, I just love it, man. This is summer, you know what I mean? Look at this. Have a good summer, guys. Look at it. Here you go. Summer is here. Look at that. Okay. And all this gets sorted out. Actually, it doesn't. Right now, I haven't been sorting out the things he's sent me. I keep them in bags according to countries because I don't want them to get lost and out of context. But eventually, as the years go by, they'll eventually go like spread out in an archive situation. Okay, but these are really cool. Pop Rocks. The absolutely stunning Sparkles Bubbaloo candy package. Beautiful size, by the way, as well. And then the little small things like Dracula came in. This little monster who's vomiting or just going crazy because the candy's so sour. And then the bubble gum. And I was going to say a couple more things about this week. So it's been very amazing. But yesterday, this thing I was showing you guys, he's farting. This guy farts, and I don't know why I didn't notice that. You know, I'll tell you why. Actually, I know why. I was so hyper focused on getting to the Punky's ball that I didn't realize that what you're supposed to do is eat the candy And then this accordion style bass pushes down. Now this has been cut off, but this used to be longer, and it was like a whoopee cushion. And so you can it kind of still works, but this is supposed to be longer. In fact, I know this just because of physics, but also it shows it on here. These other mascots have a longer fucking rubber tube. I don't know what they're called. Nozzle. There you go. But super cool. And if you look at him, he's holding a fart in. Like his elbows are tight. And so that is really cool. And I didn't notice that till last night. I was looking through them. You know, this stuff, I'll be going through it for weeks and weeks, you know, just studying it and translating it. I just like to share them like on here on Facebook or on YouTube, but you know, it doesn't end here. I study this stuff. This is all I do. But yeah, so this came in yesterday. Punky's Ball. If you don't know what that is, Willy Wonka in 1986 made this, and it had all these characters. Well, on the back, they offer a Funky Punky's Ball, and you had to send in 4 of these, meaning kids had to buy 4 boxes, cut this out, and mail them to this address along with $1.50, and they would send you this in 4 to 8 weeks. And I've been looking for this thing for forever, it feels like, and I finally have it. Last night I had 4 collectors contact me trying to get me to sell this, or one of them tried to get me to trade it, and so it's not for sell or trade, obviously. But good try. Guys, hope you enjoyed some of that. Thank you again to Mr. Travis. Hope that's okay. I just say your first name. For this so fucking generous donation gift. It just feels like a gift. So it is a gift. Guys, I just want to put it out there. If you are traveling to a different country, if you don't mind keeping your eye out for just weird candy, man. The stuff you can't get here, right? If you wouldn't mind picking up just a few things, I would really appreciate it. I don't mind compensating you for it, even in the spot. You could actually just message me here, and I can send you money for that. Okay, guys. Hope you have a good rest of your week and a good weekend. Russ Van out. Thank you, Travis.